welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be about an analyzation over a poem by Jim Morrison. Now, real quick, before I actually go into a little detail about Jim Morrison himself, I wanted to give a little apology for not posting on YouTube in over a year. I'm so sorry. I kind of just ran out of ideas, and I deleted all of my other videos, so yeah, I don't even know what I did, but I'm starting fresh and I don't really know what this channel is mainly going to be about. But I wanted to do things that I love, so today I'm going to be analyzing poetry because I'm a huge poet. I'm such a fan of Jim Morrison. So yeah, let's get into the introduction. Okay, a little introduction about Jim Morrison. If you don't know who he is, I'm just going to give the little popular snippet of his background. So Jim Morrison was basically this amazing poet, and he was the lead singer of The Doors in the 60s and very early 70s. Yeah, I have my shirt on. This is him here. But anyways, Jim Morrison was this amazing poet, and everyone kind of just had a thing for him, really. He had leather pants on every single day, and usually a white shirt or some interesting shaman type vests. He was a very amazing man, kind of insane, honestly, but who knows, it might have also been normal to him, because there is no normal and insane. So yeah, I'm not going to get into that because I can just talk about that for hours. But anyways, his poetry is what he wanted to be known for mostly. He started writing poetry when he was like in middle school, I'm pretty sure, and he wrote all up until his death, which was in 1971, on July 3rd, when he was found dead in a bathtub. So yeah, but he was still writing poetry, and I'm sure that that poetry is actually in this collection that I have, which, real quickly, let me show you guys his collection. So about a month ago, I went to the bookstore and I was about to check out when I saw this copy of the new Jim Morrison's collected works. Poetry, transcripts, lyrics, journals, thoughts, pretty much everything a Jim Morrison fan would go crazy about. So of course I had to buy it. It was $40. I don't blame them though, it's 600 pages, which is pretty lengthy of just poetry and stuff. You know, it also has some film critiques of his. It has all kinds of stuff, really. But yeah, this is what I'm going to be analyzing today. Not the whole thing, clearly. I'm not that crazy. Well, I am, because I am doing that, but I'm just gonna be analyzing like one little snippet of a poem because, oh my god, you'll see why in a minute. Here's the stanzas that we'll be doing. The assassin's bullet marries the king, dissembling miles of air to kiss the crown. The prince rambles in blood, owed to the neck that was groomed for rape's gown. Okay, so basically I'm just writing down the stanzas because I write so slowly and I didn't want to take up the whole video doing that. Okay, so now that I have it written down on this side of the page, I'm going to be writing down my thoughts about it. Now, a little disclaimer, literally anything that I say could be totally wrong. Since it is existential poetry and the author is dead, we can't really know what he was actually trying to say. This is all just guesses and for fun, so yeah. Anyways, we're gonna start. So it starts with the assassin's bullet. So when we hear assassin, there's definitely going to be a character. So you can write down character, or you can write down, you know, there could be a plot going on. There clearly is a plot. The plot is this. Yeah. Alright, so the character is the assassin. I have terrible handwriting, and I write very slowly, so I am so sorry. So yeah, our character is the assassin. The assassin has a bullet, clearly. I mean, you don't even have to write that down because that is just, it's obvious. Okay, here's where it gets a little interesting. So the assassin's bullet marries the king. Can a bullet marry a king? Probably, but not really. But since we know that there is king, and if you kind of skip down, you can see that there's a prince. So we're going to write down that there could be like a royal family going on here, or it's royalty. That's what I'm going to write. Royalty / royal family. Okay, so we know that there's some royal stuff going on here because there's a king and there's a prince. Now, the assassin's bullet marries the king. When you hear marries with a bullet, okay, hear me out, it usually means that that person gets shot. So it means that the assassin shot the king. So we're gonna write that. Alright, so I've written down the assassin's bullet kills the king. This is very straightforward. We're already off to a great start. If you're writing this down, wonderful. Yeah. Okay, so the next line. Dissembling miles of air to kiss the crown. Now, when we think of dissembling, you might think of like maybe a car or something, where you're dissembling a car or you're dissembling a puzzle. You're taking parts out of that thing and you're setting them to the side, you know, you're dissembling something, or like a child's playground. Okay, so you're dissembling miles of air. When we think of dissembling, you kind of have to jump to the next thought and think dissembling as in dissembling and then going through. So it's like you're dissembling gravity, kind of, and then you're going through and it's going fast because it's a bullet. Alright, so you're dissembling miles of air, meaning that the bullet is going through the air to kiss the crown. The crown is on the king's head, meaning that the king was shot in the head. Alright, so what I wrote down is the bullet flies through the air and hits the king's crown, / aka the king is shot in the head. So yeah, this whole stanza right here was pretty easy, so we got lucky on that. Now down to the next stanza. We have the prince rambles in blood, ode to the neck that was groomed for rape's gown. Alright, so this, I have a couple guesses on what it actually is talking about, but I'm really not sure. So what I'm going to do is I'm kind of just going to put an arrow over here so, you know, it's not mixed up with this. So here's what I'm thinking of. The prince is rambling in blood, meaning that he could be talking very fast, trying to catch his breath, but he has a wound in his neck, you know. So basically what I'm going to write down is the prince is talking very fast, stumbling over his words while he's bleeding out. Alright, so what I wrote is not what I just said. I wrote the prince is talking very fast and stuttering at. Alright, so what I wrote down is not quite what I said earlier, but I wrote down the prince is talking very fast and stuttering as he bleeds out. Now, that's basically what this line right here is saying. But the second line, this is supposed to be one line, but I wrote too big. But anyways, this is the second line, and it really does go with the first line and all the other lines. It's a stanza. I'm so dumb. Okay, but anyways. So the prince is talking very fast. He's stuttering as he bleeds out, and he has a wound in the neck. Now, when we think of a wound in the neck way back then when there were kings and queens and stuff. All I can think of is that this prince was chopped with a sword, or like slashed with a sword, and he's bleeding out through his neck. Alright, so what I wrote down here is the prince must have been slashed in the neck with a sword. And now we're gonna figure out why he was slashed in the neck with a sword. So if we look at 3 and 4, lines 3 and 4, we get the answer. Ode to the neck, that was groomed for rape's gown. So basically what the final thing is saying, is that this prince was slashed in the neck because he was grooming probably maybe a peasant girl or something, maybe a royal family lady, I don't know, but when you use gown, I can only think of like a dress, so it means that he raped some lady, clearly. So yeah, I'm gonna kind of write that down. Alright, so what I wrote down was he, the prince, was killed because he raped a lady in a gown. And then I wrote in quotations, princess. It probably wasn't a princess though, but I still thought of princess because I heard the word gown. So yeah. Now the entire total meaning of these 2 stanzas, I think I figured it out, but tell me what you think about this. I don't know, I could be completely wrong. So I'm gonna say that the king was shot because he is the father of the prince, and the prince went and raped this lady, okay? And now the king was shot by an assassin. I'm thinking that whoever this lady was, I'm gonna think that either she or a family member of hers hired an assassin, and then the assassin killed the king, and then, I mean, honestly, we don't really know who actually killed the prince here. I'm hoping that it was the lady that was raped. It could be the assassin also, I have no idea, but honestly, it's just two little pieces of a poem that are just very violent. So yeah, that's kind of just how I analyze things. It's very basic. I kind of just try and get my thoughts out on this stuff so I can better understand it. So yeah. Okay, so we just analyze those 2 stanzas from the Jim Morrison's collective writings book. Yeah. Sorry that this video was a little chaotic, in the sense that I haven't posted in a year, and here I am just posting about poetry. Yeah, but please tell me if you like this video, if it might have helped you understand analyzing a little bit. If you did like this video, tell me what else you would like me to do. I'd love to analyze other poetry. I have other poetry books. I have Shakespeare, like a collection of British poets from the 60s and all, and then I have a lot of stuff. I have the Encyclopedia of American Poets. I have a lot of stuff. So if you would like me to keep talking about poetry or writing, please let me know down in the comments, and I will put my Instagram in the description so you can go follow that, because I'm mostly active on there, and I'll be giving updates about whatever the heck I'm going to be doing on YouTube on there. So yeah, if you like this video, please like and subscribe, and I appreciate it. Thanks.